Good morning to your friends. Hope you are doing well, and welcome on in to a Thursday, January 22nd. And so what are we at now, Joan? We're like 2 days away from Snowma Ice-mageddon.
Yeah.
So, and the forecast feels like it's changing a little bit. I went and I got a couple of bags of salt for the driveway. Now, the dumb thing is I get the salt for the driveway, and then I'm not going to be able to drive around in my neighborhood.
Right.
So why do I bother to spend, all the money on the salt? But I did get that, and I also got a big old snow shovel. So
Good plan.
Don't swing it at federal agents.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
You know what's so funny? You know what I did yesterday, real quick? So I'm at Home Depot, and a woman is to my right, and I'm checking out the snow shovel. And she says to me, oh, this has multiple uses. Now, I don't understand what the multiple uses are with the snow shovel. So I said, yeah, you can shovel your driveway and you can beat your husband. See, she didn't think it was funny either. I, honest to God, thought it was a joke. I said it laughing. And she looks at me like,
Who is this guy?
Yeah. She's like, why would this strange man in the awkward cap saying this to me? And I said, no, it was a joke. That's all it was. I know you don't beat your husband. Well, I don't know if you beat your husband. I was kidding, is how that went.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, Dan.
I need to just stop trying to, make jokes. I think that's what I need to do. All right. Anyway, so the forecast, it looks like it's going to be, kind of a little more icy now, unfortunately. Is that what I'm getting? And definitely icy south of I-40. South of I-40, ice, and there's going to be rain involved, so they can put the brine or whatever that is down on the road, but it's going to rain first. So the rain is going to wash all that stuff away, and then there's nothing for the road.
Right. So that's going to be the southernmost portions of the listening area. To the north of I-40, Stefano says it'll start out as snow. Snow may hang around a little bit, but it'll switch over at some point to a wintry mix. And anytime it involves ice, wet, it's going to take down power lines. It's going to hit some trees.
Oh, I know. I know.
It's going to be
Not going to help
interesting.
if there's going to be 30-mile-an-hour gusts.
Yeah, right.
Is there going to be 30-mile-an-hour gusts? Man alive. So this is getting, from bad to worse, It sounds like to me. All right. And then north of I-40, what are we looking like?
That's north of I-40.
Oh, that is north of I-40? I thought that was south of I-40.
No, it starts out as snow, but it'll change over to a wintry mix at some point.
Okay. All right. So this just, as I said, it's getting from bad to worse. We're going to try to get Stefano DiPietro on again. Hopefully he'll have time to come on with us. That would be fantastic. But you know what? We got 2 days.
Yeah, we do.
And the forecast can change in 2 days, right, Joan?
The forecast can change in 2 days.
And it's probably going to get worse.
But the one thing that's probably not going to change is that everybody's taken everything on the grocery store shelves, and if you haven't gotten there already, I think you're screwed.
There was no, I think I got the last couple of bags of salt for my driveway. And so the big debate with me and the older gentleman that was there did not make any awkward jokes to the older gentleman, by the way, that was there staring at the salt too. The question is, okay, will this hurt my driveway? Because some of this stuff will hurt your driveway.
It'll tear up your concrete, yes.
Yes, and I've paid USS enough money, thank you very much, and I love United Structural Systems, but holy mackerel, I have had so much work done to we bought it as a fixer, so I knew that there were going to be issues, but, oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you see what just happened, Sam? Joan, you didn't see what happened. People on Super Talk TV have to be howling. Do you know what they've done? I'm sorry, radio folks listening, but this is a Super Talk TV thing. Do you know the little knobs that I would twirl?
Yeah, the ones that
They're gone. And I just tried.
I wasn't going to say anything as to disturb your peace.
I literally just tried. If you watch Super Talk TV, I went to twirl the knobs and they're gone. I don't Okay, well, now I don't know what to do with my hands. This is awesome. Anyway, so, yeah, I hope that the salt that I bought won't mess up my driveway. So there you go.
Well, and if you, for whatever reason, walk out and down it, you won't slip and bust your rear.
Yeah, there is that as well. So anyway, who knows what's going to happen? By the way, I don't know if you know this, Joan. You should have because you were on the air with us. Sam has been talking all big about being able to, live stream his trip into work on Monday, and he's going to live vlog or whatever it is. Now he's like, oh, I'm not going to be able to drive in. Oh, no, I can't do that. I don't know. So all of a sudden, Sam is like,
All right.
Sam is chickening out.
Ice is one thing. Snow, totally drivable. It'll pack down. It's easier to drive on when it's frozen. If we're going to get a hellacious amount of ice, I think we need to be prepared for some alternative solutions.
So the problem that we face, and then I'm going to get to the content, which I guess this is content because it's weather. But I guess what we're going to have to do is try to figure out how in the world we are going to be able to get a producer into the radio station, Joan, to be able to get us on the air. Mm-hmm. So now that's our problem. And I'm sure that somebody is working on that. And if they're not, they better start.
Yeah.
I was about to say someone is, and that someone is us.
Yeah.
No. They're on it. I'm positive they're on it, and I'm sure that we'll have some idea about what they want to do anytime here, because this is a very big deal. You know what I'm going to do, Sam? You're actually going to love this. I'm going to record a bunch of segments on Sunday and mail them in case I can't, in case my power goes out. So that it's going to be one of those, if you're hearing this segment, I'm without power.
And just so people know, that's not Dan phoning it in, because we talked about this yesterday, and he literally said, I'll phone it in. I'll call into the show. And I'm like, if you have no power, your phone's going to die. And then that's how committed he is to working, people.
And then I said, you remember what else I said? And then I said, if my phone dies,
I'll just take Amy's.
I mentioned that to Amy, and you know what that evolved into?
Oh, hell no.
I'll be recording segments and sending them in. She's like, if you think that I'm going to let you use the absolute last juice on my phone for your silly little radio show, you're out of your mind. So, yeah. You know what I did order, though, real quick? I ordered a couple of backup phone chargers. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
those fast
power
ones?
banks.
Backup power. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have those? I ordered like 2. And Amy thinks she's getting one, not after that conversation from yesterday. So, yeah, those things are really, we've got 2. We've already got 1. So now there's 3 of us in the house, not counting Bandit. So we've got 3, 1 for Riker, 1 for Amy, and 1 for me.
Well, how often does Bandit call out?
You know what? And by the way, the problem that I have with Bandit is that he's not going to want to go out and pee because it's going to be so cold.
Okay, so when I had a dog, a little one, tell me if you do this. Do you go out into the backyard and shovel a pathway for them to go so that there's grass their feet can touch?
No. I don't love Bandit that much, Joan.
You're too kind. Yeah, I just throw mine out there and go deal with it.
It's like you are not going to get back into this house until I see some yellow snow.
I'm kidding. My wife bought them booties, and so we put booties on them, and it's really funny to watch them try to walk around.
Yeah.
All right, so is there anything going on in the traffic? I did hit some of that fog, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So there is an accident in Glenview, Murfreesboro Pike at Briley Parkway. Really, it looks okay this morning. I noticed personally that there's fewer cars on the road, so I think people are already starting to make plans.
Which is dumb because it's like 2 days away.
Right.
We got Thursday, we got Friday.
Yeah, and tomorrow should be the day you charge your devices, charge your backup batteries and all that stuff. You don't want to do that while the grid's getting stressed on Saturday and Sunday.
Exactly. So now the question is, how do you prepare? First of all, if you have a generator, for people that are asking, because I've had a couple of generator clients, I don't have a home generator. We actually, Joan and Sam, we were going to buy one, and that's when Amy started this nonsense about buying a bigger house.
Oh.
And so we put it off until it was perhaps too late. Because I was gonna buy a generator from Generator Supercenter, and I was all ready to go. And then Amy's like, "Hey, we're doing pretty good. Let's get a bigger, better." And, so that was a conversation that lasted about 3 or 4 weeks. We checked some things out, and I finally said, no, we're not going to do this. But in that time, we put off the buying of the generator, and now here we are. I did have a generator in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Saved my butt a couple of different times.
Yeah, I had one in Maryland. Same. The kind you plug into the back of the house.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to need a generator in Tennessee, man. I'm in the South.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not in Indiana anymore. I'm not in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
As I told you both yesterday, I believe so, my grandfather's 89th birthday is on Sunday.
Yeah.
And we were preparing to celebrate. And I'm talking to my cousins and everything. And they're like, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a good idea. And so I call my mom, who's spearheading the whole idea. And she's like, I already bought the salmon. I already bought all the other food to go with it. We are having his birthday, whether you like it or not.
Well, then wherever the birthday is, they're going to, I mean.
They're going to skate there.
I was going to say, by Sunday, things are going to be pretty hellacious.
Yeah.
So.
I guess they're going to be cooking salmon at my mother's house on Sunday morning.
All right. So here's my question. What I want to know is, what producer for W10 is going to be spending 4 days at the hotel across the street? Because that's what needs to happen.
Mason.
Mason's not going to do it. Mason has other things that he's got to do, from what I understand.
Yeah, he's got events he's got to work over the weekend, and by the time it would be check-in time on Sunday, I don't think the roads are going to be. So whoever works the weekend might be the guy that needs to.
I don't know who works on the weekend anymore, so whatever. But
RJ.
Yeah. It's Board of Peace Day across the world, I guess. This is a very big deal. Vladimir Putin is on the Board of Peace. This is the Sam, you were telling me, I'm going to be honest with you. We have so many places in America that need to be rebuilt. I don't know why in the world we're focused on Gaza, although I get it. If it is a investment and we end up getting money for it, and long term down the road, if we end up, getting sort of a constant flow of cash from Gaza as it's rebuilt into whatever it's going to be rebuilt into, okay, fine.
It is oceanfront property.
It is oceanfront property, but I don't have a lot of faith in the rebuilding of Gaza. I mean, I just don't. Number one, do you really think the terrorism is going to end in Gaza? No, the terrorism is not going to end. Do you really think all of the fraud that goes on in that part of the world is going to stop? No. Do you really think that the radical Islamic terrorism and the radical Islam culture is going to go by the wayside? Of course not. So what they're trying to do is westernize Gaza. And I'm sorry, but you're not going to be able to do that because they're radical out there. So, I mean, listen, if that's what they want to try to do, God bless them. And if they think that this is going to be a success, then more power to them. I almost want to bless their hearts in a snarky Southern way. But you know what? If anybody can get it done, it's Donald Trump. I don't know. Joan, do you have any? By the way, do you think they're going to put that 50-foot golden statue of Trump out there?
Sure.
You think so?
No, I really don't. No.
I don't either, but I think that'd be funnier than I'll get out.
It would be hysterical.
My goodness gracious. So do you think it'll be, let's do a Daily Dan poll. Do you believe that rebuilding Gaza will ultimately be a success? You think it'll be a success, Joan?
The timeline on it has to be really long. I just don't think it's going to happen for, a good decade.
So Kushner was just on there talking about it in the introduction to the Board of Peace stuff.
Yeah.
And he said that, they build cities in 3 years out here. In the
Do
Middle
they?
East. That's what
Maybe
he said.
with the help of China.
Yeah.
But I just...
Not to fearmonger on the weather. Fox News was just talking about it nationally, and our area of Tennessee is in the red for widespread power outages. So this is officially kind of ramped up to get your extra water, charge up extra batteries, go buy some if you don't have any.
I heard that Jim Cantore is in the hood.
Oh, no.
Jim Cantore,
cool.
from what I understand, Joan, when Jim Cantore is in your city, it's not a good thing.
Well, I know it's not a good thing, but it's Jim Cantore. I don't know what that means, but...
It means absolutely nothing.
Okay.
You know what it means? It means that our weather is going to be really bad. And by the way, you're not going to be able to see him because your power is going to be out, and you're not going to have a TV because you don't have a generator
Do you know how often I say to myself, I'm going to get one of those radios that you crank, the weather radio. I'm going to have one of those for the next time, and then I never buy one.
No, because then it's like sunny and 70. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Which fun fact I put on Dan's weather sheet. The record high for today was 72 degrees set in 1929. Take that, global warming.
72 degrees in 1929.
1929?
Yeah,
That's
so they
what
were
Sam said.
extra
Wow.
depressed during the Great Depression.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, yeah. What are you going to do? I mean, if the power goes out, the power goes out. The best you can do is be prepared. Have all your groceries. The food can be, put outside. So if your refrigerator goes out, you can put your food outside, but then it's going to be frozen solid. But you can put, food and milk and all that kind of stuff outside. And
You know what I did for my husband?
what?
I have him working on a project around the house. So I bought extra stuff so that he could make sure he gets the project done while we're stuck
Wow.
inside. Yeah.
Joan, no
might
offense,
as well
but
keep him productive while he's home.
I would hate to be married to you. No
Yeah, I
offense,
know.
but wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why anybody would take offense to that comment, but, good Lord, man. Giving your husband stuff to do? No thanks.
Making him leave hockey games early? Come on.
Oh, now here we go. Well, listen. There's things that I want to get done. And while it's not golf season,
Wait,
I'm-
hold. There's
right.
things that you want to get
Yeah,
done,
yeah.
or there's things that you want your husband to get done.
well, I help.
Yeah, you're the one that tells him what to do.
I'll make the coffee. Go run errands. That's what I do.
Okay. Now, by the way, if you have a generator, you always have to make sure that you don't put it in the house.
Yes.
I mean, generator safety is a big thing.
That, and so is like using a kerosene heater to heat the inside of the house or using your stove.
Yep.
A lot of people have to end up doing that, and it's not good.
Yep, that's exactly right. So maybe we'll go over some official how to get ready for a storm stuff coming up. We do have the Board of Peace. That is big news this morning. We'll talk about that. Donald Trump, of course, Greenland, after we got off the air yesterday. We got off the air, and it was Trump saying, no, we're not going to use the military to
Right.
invade Greenland. And now there's some sort of an, quote, framework of a deal. A lot of Trump supporters are saying, hey, this is a very big deal. This is a big win for Donald Trump. We'll talk about that. Got a lot of great audio. Donald Trump clearly is winning on crime. That's part of my story this morning. Got a lot more straight ahead. It is 5:23. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And Super Text line is open, 615-737-9986. Joan, Sam, I'm going to ask also your favorite pastimes. So for the next several days, we're going to be stuck at home. And, what do you like to do? Do you like to play board games? Do you like to, binge watch TV? You want to doom scroll endlessly on your phone? What do you think is going to happen in your homes to pass the time?
Look at you venturing out into the lifestyle end of talk radio.
I know. The consultants would be really congratulatory. Can I be honest? I'm trying to make up for breaking the microphone yesterday. Because clearly getting rid of my knobs is a shot across the bow. Because I don't know, if you watch the Super Talk TV today, you're going to see me try to touch my knobs again and again.
Oh my gosh, can you clip that, please?
And my knobs are
They're gone.
no longer there.
Oh, my.
All right. And Dan Mandis here along with Joan Jones, and Sam Rutherford is producing. You got that, Sam? You all set up? All right, so let's get into the content portion of the radio program. By the way, I think it's probably too late to buy a generator anyway, isn't it, Sam? Like if I wanted to buy a generator today, number one, there's no way that I'm going to be able to find one.
Well, not the in-home install, but you could go to...
No, I don't think there's generators available. You think there might be?
Like the ones, the mobile ones that you just fill up and you can wheel around. I think you could go find one. The question is, are you going to get the right wattage?
Right.
Where are you going to put it so you're not gassing your family with carbon monoxide?
Right. And people are asking me on the Super Text line if I'm going to stay over at the hotel. I'm debating it. Can I just be personal for a moment? if there's going to be a big time power outage, I want to be with my family and make sure that they're safe.
Exactly.
So,
and warm, more importantly. That's part of keeping them safe there.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to be a jerk, but like that's no longer my problem. When they made me just a host, that's no longer my problem. So my responsibility lies in 5 to 9. But, I mean, if the power's out, then really what are you going to do? So, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it other than if, I'm not going to risk my family being alone for, 3 or 4 days with no power and them being by themselves. I'm just not going to do that. So this is a radio show. This is a radio station. That's my family. And I think a lot of people are going to feel that way. Now if they want to all come stay with me at, the Comfort Inn or whatever, which I'm sure that they would absolutely love to do.
Oh, what if the power went out there?
Oh, that would be even awfuler.
Now you're trapped in a 15 by 20 room.
Yeah.
With one bathroom.
But you could still go swimming. Is there a pool?
I go ice skating.
I was about to say.
Yeah, Joan, people ask me if I'm going to stay at the hotel across the street to make sure that we can, as a station and as a show, be on the air. And it's like, no, I'm really not. I mean, I'm not going to leave my family alone for 3 or 4 days with the possibility of a long-term power outage. Just not going to do it.
You have your head on straight, mister.
Yeah. As I'm fond of saying, I can't afford another divorce. And,
I was going to compliment and say, yeah, it's conservative family values in action, but...
Well, that and I can't afford another divorce. All right. Are we going to get Stefano on at 6, Joan?
Let's see.
All right, so...
No, he has not responded.
All right, very good. So
what they're having him do extra work on the air this morning, so it lessens that window that we have to spend with him.
All right, very good. So coming up in the 6 o'clock hour, we are going to talk about the Board of Peace. And there's a lot going on with the Board of Peace. This is, it's interesting. This was supposed to be just a handful of nations. And I'm reading up to like dozens, like about 59 nations are involved in this whole thing. So we'll talk about it and, whether or not, because Donald Trump has been talking about this. He says that Gaza is a beautiful piece of property now that it's been bombed to smithereens. You know what I mean? So they want to make it into probably another Dubai. We'll see if they're able to do that. I mean, I think that by the time it reaches its full potential, it's going to be many, many years down the road. There's talk of, oh, no, you can build it in Jared Kushner. We can rebuild in 3 years. I don't know about that. Maybe you can start building sections in 3 years, but Jared Kushner is going to know a lot more about building and construction than I do. But we'll get into that in the 6 o'clock. I do feel like I want to put a final cap on what happened yesterday with Greenland. So President Trump, this was, a big moment with President Trump talking about this framework of an agreement, which essentially means that we're not going to invade Greenland.
Well, we have a concept of a deal. I think it's going to be a very good deal for the United States, also for them. And we're going to work together on something having to do with the Arctic as a whole, but also Greenland. And it has to do with the security, great security, strong security, and other things.
The market, 600 points, getting back a lot of some of the nervousness we had in the last couple of days. The tariffs are off. Nothing happens on February 1st.
No, we took that off because it looks like we have pretty much a concept of a deal.
A deal of ownership, a deal...
Well, it's a little bit complex, but we'll explain it down the line. But the Secretary General of NATO and I and some other people were talking, and it's the kind of a deal that I wanted to be able to make.
Where does Denmark, did they weigh in on what they want, what they would agree to?
Well, I assume they did because he very much represents, he's a strong leader. Mark Rutte. And he, I assume he's been speaking to them. He's been speaking to all of them.
Are mineral rights involved? Is ownership involved? Did the Golden Dome sway people?
I don't want to say yet, but...
The Golden Dome was very compelling today when you talked about that.
Yeah, the Golden Dome.
Yeah, this is a very big deal. I mean, I'm a big Golden Dome fan, and I was when Reagan was talking about this way back when. I keep hearing this phrase, the Arctic as a whole. You look at a map and all that stuff. You've got a lot of ice in the Arctic region. You've got parts of Alaska. You've got Canada, Russia, where like Siberia is, parts of Norway, Iceland as well. So obviously we're not taking over parts of Russia like Siberia, but whatever. Donald Trump, he likes what he has heard regarding NATO and Denmark and trying to put together, again, a framework. But here's the thing, is that we were already allowed to do essentially whatever we wanted on Greenland anyway, as far as military bases go. NATO and Denmark and Greenland, we were all, basically as a team. Now, we all also understand that Trump hasn't necessarily been a great friend to NATO, although he has made NATO most certainly stronger and more financially capable of doing what it needs to do by forcing everyone else to up their payments to NATO. So that's number one, is that whatever this framework of a deal is, we don't really know what it is. I mean, Trump has put Scott Bessent and Marco Rubio and Steve Witkoff in charge of, the details. But personally, I believe that there's going to be a lot here regarding the minerals. I've been telling you for, months now, the minerals there within Greenland. It's got a lot. So the Arctic region itself has a massive amount of rare earth and minerals and so forth. So, this could be a multifaceted deal. This interview with President Trump, this is with CNBC, it didn't necessarily give a lot of details.
They're going to be involved in the Golden Dome, and they're going to be involved in mineral rights, and so are we.
It's not specific enough to know at this point how long this lasts, whether it's
forever.
Forever.
It'll be forever.
For Greenland at this point.
Yeah. Forever.
That's staggering.
That's better than a 99-year.
This is what, 2 hours after.
It's better than the Obama deal with the famous Iran nuclear deal with a 9-year deal.
Sunset.
No, this is forever. This is a long term.
That's Donald Trump. This is forever. This is long term. I have audio only coming up here, so you can take away the screen. The guy in charge of NATO, the Secretary General, he was on with Bret Baier in the hours following this announcement. He had a lot of praise for Donald Trump. I thought it was actually really interesting. He is actually seemingly a fan of Donald Trump, or he's just working the room, if you know what I mean. But anyway, this is what he said to Bret Baier following the announcement.
Yes, but what we basically discussed, how can we implement the president's vision on protecting, yes, Greenland, but of course it is not only Greenland, it is the whole Arctic. And as you know, there are 8 countries in the Arctic, Russia, which obviously is not in NATO, and 7 other countries, including the United States and Canada, but also 5 countries in Europe who are in that Arctic region. How can we collectively make sure that we defend that Arctic region, therefore implementing his vision of that necessity? And he's totally right there, because we know that the region is opening up more and more. The sea lanes are opening up more and more for the Russians and the Chinese and other adversaries to be active there, which is potentially a threat.
So he's talking about implementing President Trump's vision, sort of leaving out whether or not the United States would actually own Greenland. I don't think the United States is going to own Greenland. And to be perfectly honest, and I've been saying this since all this began, I think that Trump, he knows how to get things done. He knows how to, get things that he wants. And I think that this was all part of that. But, you heard him say that there are 7 countries in the Arctic. I just mentioned the United States with Alaska, Canada, Russia, Denmark, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. And it seems like he's saying all the right things regarding President Trump. Nobody's talking at this point about owning Greenland. I think that ultimately what Donald Trump wants is some sort of a deal. But again, not to belabor the point, but we've always been allowed to do whatever it is that we want on Greenland as far as military bases. There was an agreement back in, I think it was 1951, that we had in place. Now, we currently only have 1 military base on Greenland. But if we wanted to put 2, 3, 4, or 5 bases on there, we could have. We could have done that during Donald Trump's first administration as well. I still believe, and y'all can disagree with me, but I think that there's more to this than just, Donald Trump wanting to put military bases out there. I think that he wants to protect the resources, and he certainly does not want China or Russia to get a hold of those resources.
Greenland, is it still under the Kingdom of Denmark in this framework deal?
That issue did not come up anymore in my conversations tonight with the president. We very much focused on what do we need to do to make sure that that huge Arctic region, where change is taking place at the moment, where the Chinese and Russians are more and more active, how we can protect that. That was really the focus of our discussions.
Right, and obviously there's the energy exploits that possibly come out of Greenland. There is the Golden Dome, as you're talking about, protecting against missiles in the hemisphere. But as you talk to Greenlanders, and we are on the ground there, they don't seem like they can be bought off. And there's only 57,000 residents. Mr. Secretary General, how does this get resolved?
Right. And Brett Baer is correct on that. Both the Denmark leader and Greenland's leader both say, nope, not for sale. Brett Baer said nobody is talking about who would effectively own Greenland. I think that conversation is now by the wayside. So I guess ultimately the question is, where's the win for Trump? Where's the win for the American people? That remains to be seen. But as far as buying Greenlanders, the Daily Mail actually reported this. Each Greenlander, Joan, could get $1 million under a plan if they would agree to join the United States.
I watched a video.
Yeah.
Of somebody interviewing, just an ordinary Joe Greenlander.
Sure.
And they said, so are you in favor of President Trump and the United States taking over Greenland? And he said, no, never, never. He said, well, President Trump wants to offer $1 million. And he said, okay, I'll take the $1 million. You can have us.
See?
I mean, it's like
money
sold.
talks. I think it was those great philosophers, AC/DC,
right,
that once sang money talks.
Yeah.
For 57,000 people, that is $564 million. So to make this happen, the island would apparently have to agree to hold a referendum and would likely need 60% to vote in favor of joining America to receive the money. Again, Denmark doesn't necessarily sound like they're on board. The leaders don't sound like they're on board with much of this. Greenland's prime minister says nope, but part of this is clearly that NATO needs Trump, like it or not. They need Donald Trump because Trump has made them collectively better and also more cohesive. And frankly, NATO has a lot more money now, thanks to Donald Trump.
Last year, under his leadership, NATO collectively reached that famous 2%, which we agreed 10 years ago. I asked the room, I said, big countries like Spain and Italy and Belgium and Canada reaching that 2%, would it have ever happened if President Trump would not have been re-elected? No. And then in June in The Hague, we agreed on this 5% defense spending, including the 3.5% on core defense, equalizing with the US. Would that ever have happened if President Trump would not have been re-elected as President 47 of the United States? Absolutely not. And now today, this agreement on working collectively on this deal getting done on the Arctic region, I think we can really commend him for taking that leadership role. He is the leader of the free world. He is the leader of the most powerful nation on earth, the biggest ally in NATO. He is doing exactly what I hope he would do when he was re-elected, knowing him from his first term in office.
And Joan, I don't know if you heard, but during these meetings, as they were talking about the Arctic region, I don't know if you know this, but they're talking now about expanding the Arctic region to Middle Tennessee.
Oh, boy.
Just temporarily for the next couple of...
Okay.
Whatever. You know what? Touch my knobs. You know what? I'm going to move right along because you two, who doesn't like some good frozen tundra humor when we're looking at massive power outages and ice?
Hey, I just want you to also know that you don't math very well.
Did I shank the math on the 57,000?
Shanked the math.
What did I do? I said million and I was supposed to say billion.
2805. Yeah. So we give 57,000 to each Greenlander, $1 million. Meanwhile, we say, oh no, okay, whatever. Your math is wrong. Here we go. $1 million per Greenlander would be $56 to $57 billion, not million.
See, I got that from the Daily Mail, though. I didn't do it. You people think I did that math myself? No. Well, they also, in fairness to me, they also spoke about 570,000 per Greenlander. So it just depends on what the ultimate amount is. Here's the bottom line. Whatever we give the Greenlanders, we would make back in resources.
Oh, for sure.
And minerals and rare earth and all that kind of stuff. So, by the way, also Trump with the tariffs, that's off the table. The trade bazooka that Europe threatened in return, that is apparently now off the table as well. I mean, we're going to, we all talked about this, but, we're going to hit them with 10% tariffs. They were definitely going to retaliate with that trade bazooka, which was basically a set of broad trade restrictions against America. But you know what? Apparently now, all good. It's what they're saying.
I think what we achieved today in the talks I had with the president is that we agreed that he is right. And he is right that collectively we have to protect the Arctic regions. But also, of course, the U.S. continuing its conversations with Greenland and Denmark when it comes how can we make sure that the Russians and China will not gain access to the economy or military sense of Greenland. I think that was a very good outcome. There's still a lot of work to be done. We'll do it step by step. But, of course, working fast, but also with thoughtful diplomacy, we will get this done.
All right, so 5:54 Nashville's Morning News. And again, I will note one thing to, again, mention that we already have agreements in place militarily. So, again, there has to be more to this than just giving us the ability to put bases on Greenland because we already have that permission. It is interesting, Joan, you and I were talking during our pre-show meeting about how the polling showed that, by and large, Republicans, I mean, there's some Republican pushback on this, but by and large, Republicans, were supportive of Donald Trump doing what he needed to do, wanted to do, but that some of the polling, not that I believe the polling, but, we were losing independents on this. But you know what my question is?
What's that?
So that's fine that we lose some independents, but my question would be, independents, how do you feel about what in the world is going on in cities like Minnesota or in states like Minnesota, cities like Minneapolis and St. Paul? I mean, okay, so Donald Trump is trying to strong-arm NATO. Compare that to the absolute insanity that is going on in places like Minnesota, not to mention the fraud that is going on. So I would ask these, and I understand that we're all supposed to, bend the knee to the independents, and I understand that politically, but what do you people want, you independents? I mean, do you want the chaos in the streets? Do you want the rampant fraud? One of the things that Trump said, and I will tell you that if you think my mathing doesn't work, Trump also has some problems with mathing or perhaps hyperbole because he said that we could knock down, I think he said, half of our debt by just cleaning up the fraud. I don't believe that we have. What's our current debt right now? I mean, it's like obviously many trillion. Look up what our current debt is, would you?
37 trillion.
37 trillion. So what's half of 37? 50, about 33? What's half of 37? Half of 37 is 17-ish, 16?
18.5.
18.5. I don't believe that we have $18.5 trillion worth of fraud in this country. I don't. Now, do we have a lot of fraud? Absolutely. Could we really help our economy by fixing the fraud and fixing a bunch of other stuff? Absolutely. Nick Shirley. Did you see Nick Shirley testifying in front of Congress yesterday?
I can't believe I didn't realize he was testifying yesterday.
Have no fear, Joan Jones. I've got the audio. Of course I have the audio.
Of course you do.
Of course.